February 6th.
No, I'm good. Now that I've signed, I'm good, so put the Sam's pen, so. Use it, pass it down, do whatever.
You would? I would.
Okay, we're going to start now. I would like to call to order the reorganization meeting of the Planning Board, January 2nd, 2019. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Notice was published on December 11th, 2018 in the New Jersey Star Ledger, the official newspaper for the Township of Springfield for the year 2018, and posted in the Annex Building on December 12th, 2018. Let's do a flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick roll call. Mayor Erica Du Bois. Here. Mr. David Barnett.
Here.
Mr. Andrew Schwartz.
Present.
Mr. Jerry Fernandez is absent. Ms. Sylviane Grzybowski. Here. Ms. Carolyn Singer. Here. Mr. Scott Wishna.
Here.
Ms. Sharon Kessel.
Here.
Mr. Jeff Tiger.
Here.
Ms. Marissa Ruggiero. Ruggiero.
Here.
Mr. Brian Brendel.
Here.
And we have a quorum. So the first thing we are going to do is I need a nomination for chairman.
Madam Secretary, I'd like to nominate Jeffrey Tiger for chairman.
I like to second that.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Guess not. Okay, I'm going to do a roll call. Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Mayor Du Bois?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yeah.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Ms. Kessel?
Yes.
Mr. Tiger?
Yes.
And I'm probably going to get this wrong again, and I apologize, Ms. Ruggiero.
Yes.
Okay. And congratulations, Mr. Chairman.
Congratulations.
Perfect. Well, let's keep it moving. Can we have any nominations for vice chair?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Sharon Kessel for vice chairman, person.
I like the second.
Roll call.
You should do,
Any other nominations for vice chair? Seeing none?
thank you.
Okay, Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Mayor Du Bois?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Ms. Kessel?
Yes.
Yes.
Short.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger?
Yes. Perfect.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Okay, board attorney. So before we start board attorney, I know that Mrs. Law sent out a list of all the professionals that applied for, to work for the Township of Springfield for this board. I think everyone's had a chance to review it. I know Mr. Barnett and Mrs. Kessel and I met with some of the professionals. David, do you have anything to add on some of the reviews and the meetings we did to give some people color?
Sure. So at our for the information for the board, we had formed a subcommittee to review RFPs at our last meeting in December. As the chairman mentioned, it was Jeff, Sharon Kessel, and myself. We interviewed. Sam also joined us as well. We interviewed several board attorneys. One actually had to recuse himself because of, or if that's the right term, to actually withdraw based on a conflict. And we then spoke to one other firm as well. And obviously we also considered the incumbent, which is Glenn Keynes of Wiener Lesniak, thank you very much. The subcommittee's recommendation is that we reappoint Glenn Keynes from Wiener Lesniak, that's a hard one, for 2019. But what we're also looking to do is to, we also found a firm that we also liked a lot. We didn't think they were quite ready to serve as the board attorney. Also, obviously, Glenn Keynes and Wiener Lesniak have so much depth of knowledge and experience on this board that we did not want to make a change. However, what we're looking to do this year is to appoint what we're calling a conflict attorney. From time to time, there are conflicts in case Glenn can't represent us on a particular application or a particular court case. So, what was the name of the other firm? I was going to look it up.
Here.
Yeah, that's perfect, what she has to do.
Right. Keelan Murphy, the attorney would be Roosevelt. What's Roosevelt's last name?
Super appoint the firm.
You know
We'll appoint the firm.
Roosevelt with the bow tie?
We'll appoint the firm.
Okay.
You appoint the firm, then we'll make.
All right. Anyway, so the subcommittees, in summary, the subcommittee's recommendation is to appoint Wiener Lesniak as our board attorney and conflict attorney being Murphy Partners LLP.
So we'll take that in two separate motions because it has to be two separate acts. So can I have a motion to approve, to accept Glenn Keynes for our board attorney for the year of 2019 at rate set by,
So moved.
so moved, okay.
Second.
Can I have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Mayor DuBois?
Yes.
Ms. Grisbowski?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishner?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
And motion passes.
Perfect, and then,
Before
we
you-
have a conflict board?
Before you do the conflict attorney, so if Glenn's unable to attend the meeting, is this conflict attorney only representing us in conflicts or
In conflicts.
absence?
Only in conflict.
Only in
Wiener
conflicts.
Lesniak will represent us if
They will
Glenn
send
can't make
somebody
it,
else.
and he's done that in the past. But
You'll send somebody else.
Yeah.
right, he'll send
Okay,
someone else
fine.
from his office. If the situation arises that there is a conflict and he can't represent us because of a relationship with an applicant or another matter, then we have another firm which we can go to.
Fair enough.
I have a question about this, because I'm a little concerned that if this conflict counsel was deemed not to have sufficient experience to be a competitor for the lead counsel role, what would make them acceptable as conflict counsel? There is no telling where Glenn may have a conflict. I mean, just, hypothetically, if he had a conflict with the Saks property, I would be concerned about having an inexperienced lawyer represent the board in that situation.
Sure, let me be clear. I thought they were very well qualified in terms of being able to represent and be an attorney for land use matters. But I wanted to stick, I thought, and the subcommittee didn't want to replace Wiener Lesniak because of the history and because of the long relationship there. But these folks are land use attorneys. They have represented plenty of applicants. They've been in front of not particularly this board in the past, but boards of lots of other towns. The main partner is on the zoning board in Red Bank, I believe. So they are very well qualified in land use. What I was saying, I probably should not have said qualified. The subcommittee's choice was not to replace Keynes, but to also find a firm that that knows land use, that is experienced there, of course, as a conflict counsel in the case that we need somebody else.
Do we have any of their bio or
It was in
resume
the-
available?
It was in the
package
RFP, yeah.
that Jen sent out.
They submitted a full RFP with everybody else.
I don't have it in front of me. When was the firm founded? And how much experience does this firm have?
I don't know,
I'm
we
just not
had,
familiar with them.
I don't remember exactly. They've been around for a while.
The
They've
collective experience
represented-
was 8 years.
8 years.
Oh, it's on there. Okay.
8 years.
Yeah, and
What is-
again,
what
they
is-
do land use work.
What does collective mean? Is that 4 guys with 2 years each?
No,
Or
I
is-
think the longest
Seriously,
person, I think the longest person at that firm was 8 years.
Okay, and is that the person who is going to be representing the board?
That's Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, so the guy with the bow tie was the,
That's Roosevelt.
yeah, that was Roosevelt.
So the gentleman who we expect to
Sharon
step
Medford.
in has 8 years' experience.
That's what he represented on the
Seems a little light.
Correct.
Yeah, so.
For this area.
There, it's just one for backup. I mean, the issue was we did look at the other 2 firms and the other one had a conflict or withdrew, and then the other one, we started getting into where the price wasn't worth the person, given that Glenn's experience would trump that as opposed to that. So that's why we went with that.
Okay.
And, I mean, could it happen that Glenn has a conflict? Absolutely. Has it happened in 7 years?
Can't recall it ever happening.
No.
But yeah, but you're right,
It
it happens.
So,
And it can't be
and
controlled.
then there's a question of if it's Glenn with a conflict or if the firm has a conflict.
Right.
So Glenn could have a conflict himself and the firm can still potentially
Correct.
do something. So we'll have to see what arises, but I think this is just a good start. This firm is doing other stuff within the town, and I think it'll be a good opportunity if it arises, but the likelihood is unknown. Do you want to make that motion?
Sure, I'd like to make a motion for the appointment of Kelly Murphy Partners as the board, as the conflict board, as the conflict attorney for this board.
Second.
Do we have roll call?
Mr. Barnett?
Yes?
Mayor DuBois?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
No.
Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
No.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Am I able to abstain?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to
Okay.
abstain.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
And Mr. Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Next one is the nomination for board engineer. Do you want to give what we discussed at the, or Sharon, do you want to talk about what we discussed at the subcommittee?
For the board engineer.
Engineer, yes. With Disco, his experience with the board and how it is.
Yeah, I mean, we are very happy with Mike Disco and don't see a reason to replace him.
Yeah, we felt he was on
I
the
don't know
board.
that-
He knew what we needed to do, and gives us what the board needs to know in order to make decisions.
Yeah, I mean,
Mr. Burnett?
I'm good.
Okay.
And for the newer members of the board, Mike Disco used to be
Yes.
one of us, used to sit up here,
Yeah.
and then step down to
To be our.
be our engineer.
how long has he been our?
2 years?
It's great.
Three.
Three.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been
Is
very
he
happy
is
with
he
him.
currently advising other
Yeah,
boards,
He
right?
He
He's
does
got a
Mountainside,
couple,
Providence, and something else. I don't know.
I worked with him on the
Garwood.
pool subcommittee. He was great.
Garwood, you're right. Yeah, he did a great job with the pool for the
Yeah.
township.
he
and
is.
so
He's
forth.
also a Springfield resident.
And he lives
Yeah,
in
he was great
Springfield.
to work with. He's really knowledgeable.
He knows the town.
And he's always very well prepared.
So any,
Or you, sir.
call for any other nominations than Mike Disco?
Come on, Sylvia.
Seeing none, can I entertain a motion for,
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mike Disco for board engineer.
and I'll second that.
Okay.
Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Mayor DuBois?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Kessel?
Yeah.
Motion passes.
Perfect. Board planner. So obviously, the board knows we've had Bob Michaels for many, many, many years. I've been on the board 12 years, so he's been here longer than me.
Probably 24 years.
And I'm sure the board gave him some gray hair too during his time here, but he's retired. And David and Sharon and I met with, met with 2 planners. And do you want to kind of give the board an update on which way we were leaning towards, and then see what the board feels?
The subcommittee was leaning towards Keenan Hughes at Phillips, Priest, some other name Hughes. Folks who have been here last year, and for your new folks, that firm is our redevelopment. Our redevelopment planners. Keenan was the gentleman who represented, who was up before us at the last meeting, talking about the redevelopment of Saks property. Town has a long history with them. They've been doing a great job on the redevelopment. I think that that having him as this board representative, as we do all of the, there's gonna be a lot of activity on downtown redevelopment, obviously Saks property coming up, as well as hopefully a couple other projects in the works in downtown. That continuity would really serve this board and the town well, so the subcommittee is recommending Keenan Hughes.
And we did meet with one of the other
We actually met with another firm called Nishuane Group, who had to withdraw because they were too busy, actually. The meeting days didn't work, and and their schedules didn't really work with ours.
So it sounds like the subcommittee would like to recommend Keenan Hughes. Any,
Did Bob Michaels' firm apply?
they did.
And what was the outcome?
Bob Michaels' firm applied. Bob Michaels' firm yesterday was appointed, so his new firm is called, the firm that merged his practice, he merged with, is called Harbor Consultants. Harbor Consultant was appointed the township attorney, township planner yesterday. So we actually liked having both Keenan and Bob's old firm, so we get at the township level, we get all the continuity, all the history, all the records, And then we also get Keenan in for not only a new perspective, but they've also represented us very, very well on all our redevelopment efforts. So a very capable firm.
So with that, can I entertain a motion? Is there any other nominations, or everyone's comfortable with the recommendation of the subcommittee? So seeing no other ones, can I have a motion for board planner?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate for board planner Mike Keenan Hughes. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
A second.
Nope.
Wow, this is,
Not me. Not
Jen, who do you think?
I gotta give it to the mayor.
All right, roll call, please.
full rank.
Ms. Guzbowski?
Yes.
Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, then, since we have a conflict board engineer, the way that we would handle the township plan, for backup for our planner and backup for our engineer would be to adopt the township professionals. So that way, if there was ever a conflict, we would adopt Keller and Kirkpatrick for the engineer and Harbor Consultants for the planner. So I'm gonna bifurcate that. We have to do kind of two motions since it's two different firms. So any questions with that? The idea is they have the knowledge, experience, they've been working with us, so we can just rely on them for that process.
Who was the second? Harbor what?
Harbor and Consultants.
That's
Yeah.
Michael's
merged.
Yeah.
yeah, or Michael's merge firm. So can I have a motion to adopt to accept Keller and Kirkpatrick for the conflicts board engineer?
So moved.
Wow.
Second.
Who seconded? You did? Okay.
Roll call. Wow, this is exciting. Everyone's pumped.
Mr. Barnett?
Carolyn, you can do the next one.
Mayor Dubois?
Here. Yes, I mean.
Yes.
Sit here.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Guzbowski?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, Carolyn, the next one is we're going to make a motion to accept Harbor Consultants as the backup planner.
Great.
Do you want to make a motion?
Just say so moved.
Just say so moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone second?
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Guzbowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
The next one, yes. The next one, Planning Board Administrator. Do we have a motion for Planning Board Administrator? Do we want to discuss it? Or?
I'd like to nominate myself for that position.
Oh, no.
Don't we have board secretary first?
Yeah, I did.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Oh.
Board Secretary, Planning Board Administrator.
Oh, I see. Never mind.
Yeah, you're right.
I've only been doing this long enough, I should know.
Yes, you've been on here longer than me, probably. So anyway, anyone want to nominate Jen Law?
I will.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Guzbowski?
Yes.
Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Come on.
Sure.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
And Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Next one is in the case that Ms. Law is not available to perform her duties, is sick or anything, we have a backup, which we typically use our Director of Engineering, which is Sam Mardini, who always does a wonderful job. Anyone like to make the motion to make our backup?
I want to make the motion because he's wearing purple.
Okay.
Any second it?
I'll second.
Okay.
David doing it.
Roll call?
What you wish for, Sam?
Last meeting, you missed.
Ms. Guzbowski?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Mayor Dubois?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Ms. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
And Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so every year we have a subcommittee. That subcommittee works with Sam and our board planner or board engineer on various ordinances that we would like to change in the town or make recommendations to the governing body. We typically pick 3 people. I think this year Andrew is going to serve, Sharon Kessel, and David Barnett will be the 3 members. If one of them can't make it, I will serve for backup. Sam will and Jen will run that committee, figure out what things have to get done. I mean, things will come out of this board, out of applications that we want to kind of recommend some things. And, I don't think it's going to meet every month, but whenever things come up, you'll make that work.
Can I just say,
Absolutely.
last year, the township passed a capital funding to revisit the entire land use ordinance, and we had a subcommittee formed, which we went over the land use ordinance actually page by page, and we have the ordinance revisions completed, which I will be sending, or Jennifer will be sending to all members probably next week, and we will put that on the agenda for probably the January 14th meeting for discussion, and then the board can decide if they want to recommend those changes to the township committee for adoption, or if they want changes made at that time, it goes back to the subcommittee and we can discuss those changes.
Perfect. So Sam will reach out to, with Jen, the three of you guys. Thank you guys for doing it. We appreciate it.
I just interpret that as we don't have too much work to do.
There's a lot of work at the next meeting.
The next thing is the official newspaper of the planning board. Erica, I think you were.
I want to make a motion to make the local source the official newspaper of the planning board with the Star Ledger as our backup.
I second.
What? I'm sorry.
So every year.
No, I know the issue. What do you nominate?
So it's the local source that we would publish in. We're trying to follow what the township is doing.
Yeah.
So the township does a local source, and then if it's the last minute thing, we make a change, or it's important that it needs to get out in the Star Ledger with the timing of the publications, we would use the Star Ledger as backup. The Star Ledger is extremely costly, so we're trying to bring down some of the cost.
Okay, and is that typical of other townships?
To do backup?
No, to do the local.
I mean, I knew that.
Usually
Ledger's
other
the backup. I
townships
thought-
always have the local paper as the paper.
But usually the local paper actually respects the town that appoints it, and personally, I think the local source lacks any respect whatsoever for Springfield, and it is a huge mistake to fund them with the citizens of Springfield. I find it very distasteful that this town and the township committee goes along with that.
I see your point, but it's also the cost. It costs probably 10 times more to go with the Star Ledger than you do with the local.
Yeah, when we did our redevelopment stuff, it was
And
every time we
then at the cost $31 costs $200 of the Star Ledger.
Yeah.
I understand that.
And
But I don't think a local source deserves a
Madam
dime
Secretary?
of Springfield money until they start showing some respect
There's
for
been a
this town.
motion and a second.
Okay.
All right, so is there any other nominations for the official paper? Okay, seeing
Okay,
none.
Mayor Du Bois,
Yes.
Ms. Grzybowski,
Yes.
Mr. Barnett.
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz,
Absolutely not.
Ms. Singer,
Sorry.
Mr. Wishna.
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero.
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel. And Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so for our meeting dates for 2019, things, we wanted to, we had weather problems last year, we had redevelopment applications coming in, so when we kind of put this together, Jen, Sam, and I, and other parties, we wanted to make sure we included all the holidays, so we didn't have to renotice and do everything. We wanted to include the tree lighting potential on Wednesday, December 4th, so we wouldn't have a problem with it. So we tried to be the foresight. We also tried to, with redevelopment, adding in a second meeting a month. Doesn't necessarily mean we will have 2 meetings a month. If we don't have redevelopment, or we don't have the redevelopment switching around, maybe we'll do the redevelopment February 6th, the first meeting and applicants the second. It's not the rule to have 2 meetings a month. It's just to give us the flexibility so we don't have to renotice and spend the money is pretty much what it is. If we cancel, Jen just comes here and puts a note on the door, and there's no cost to the township. So Jen sent this out this morning, again, with some slight corrections. Thank you, Sharon. And, typically our meetings are usually on Wednesdays, but it will change from time to time. So if you can't make a meeting, just email Jen, reach out to me. Everyone's lives very busy. People travel, people have other things. The goal is to make sure Jen's very aware. So if we get down to 5, 6, 7 members, we don't have a quorum, we know how to react and say, well, can you come down and things like that. Like Andrew did that on the last meeting. He was able to come in and make it work for us. So these are our meeting dates. Do we need a motion to accept them?
Yes.
So let's make a motion.
Am I correct that the September and October dates account for the Jewish holidays?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
We looked very carefully on
I'm
that.
very, very careful with that.
And we also did, another thing is the first week of September where the kids go back to school. We didn't do that because kids start on Thursday. Meeting would have been Wednesday. We did that as well to make sure that some people can be home for that as well.
Won't be an issue.
I know your kids are old.
No, it's not an issue.
David likes to be at school the first day.
That's doubly an issue for me, thank you.
So seeing that, can I have a motion to accept our meeting dates of 2019?
So moved.
Second.
I think it's all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, good, none. Okay, before we adjourn, the last thing is that from time to time, the board members will go visit sites, given security and, you know, we want people to get kicked off. Everyone will get a township ID that says they're on the planning board. So if everyone fills out the piece of paper that's underneath their things, at the conclusion of the meeting, Sam's gonna take everyone's picture, say cheese. In a few weeks, we'll have our township IDs. Just so that way, if you visit a site, you're able to show that you're there. If they call the police, at least you know, whatever. Some people don't want people on their property. So with that,
Makes no sense inside the applicant.
yeah, the next meeting is, I know, 1 second. Our next meeting is Monday, January 14th at 7 PM in this very room. Anyone from the public wish to come forward and speak on this application, any of the business that we have for us?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not from the public, but I just would like the record to show that I'd like to thank everyone for their volunteering again for this year or your next term. I also would like to welcome Carolyn, Marissa, and Erica to our board. Looking forward. No, you were not. You were just saying, oh my God, Barnett had a good idea. I wish I had said that, as usual. Anyway, welcome to the board. I look forward to working with you. And please reach out if you have any questions or anything.
Yes, welcome everyone to the board. Thanks, David, for doing that. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Any second?
A second.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? No, good, thanks. Meeting closed.
Can I go first? I got a kid issue.
I thought you had a
Can I go last? I have a kid issue and I don't want to go home.
I was gonna say that.
Well done.
Say,
That's mine.
and the mayor, oh my dear.
Just my name is in purple. And his.
September.
Oh,